Make sure you know what they say, no, Chilean. Move from right there, so. Move from right there, so. Make sure you know what right there say, no. Move from right there, so. Yeah, you know, go over there, you have something enough to do. Yeah, get beaten.
Extended sniper mag here. Level 3.
Attention. First blood. Round 1.
First blood? Someone's been a rascal. Already inside the ring, fella. Next round's on me.
Sniper stock here. Level
3.
Extended sniper mag here. Level 2. There's an evil harvester here. Crafting. Just a sec.
Warning. Movement in progress.
Looky here, lads. We're inside the ring.
Charge tower here. Soon as it lights up,
Attention.
brave lockdown.
There is a new kill leader.
Good. Champion up.
New kill
Another
leader.
squad's been here.
Standing taller will make them easier
Oi,
to spot.
got a weapon supply bin here.
Attention.
Extra supplies
Care
here.
package.
I leveled up. Reckon it's time for an upgrade. Optics here. Close range.
Let's pick this care package clean.
Calling in a lifeline package.
Fusey's got an upgrade.
Got an extended energy mag right here. Level 2.
Appreciate it.
I got you. Now keep moving. Optics here. Sniper. Closer.
Opening. Getting shot at. Shatter the plate shield. I'm bleeding out.
Damn, bro.
Reloading. I've been down.
I come back if you're ever looking for a Mirage à Trois. That's where you fight 3 of me at once.
Hold on to me, Coldy. This won't take a second.
They can have the ground. Eye on the sky.
I'm watching. I'm always watching.
This is your champion.
Ever wonder, what if they won't miss you at all?
How about here?
I'll try and keep us under the radar. Clown there, lucky me. Clown there, lucky
That's cool to
Cano.
do. Taking fire. Reloading. I downed one. Enemy right here. Enemy agent right here.
Cinnamon knuckle sandwich.
Enemy shooting cracked. Reloading. 3 other squads around. Reloading.
Round one. Beginning countdown.
We're not all in the ring. I can't help you if you're flash fried.
Attention. First
Enemy
blood.
agent right here.
Wow, first blood. Imagine passing out before
Yeah,
even
2
taking a
squads
sip.
nearby. Enemy here.
1 minute and the ring's spitting distance.
I'm back. Logged off my drone. I'm fine. Just facing up.
Where is the enemy? Where is the enemy?
45 seconds. Rings close. One of them's right here.
Opening cracked and release shield. Reloading.
Here comes the old knuckle cluster. Cinnamon knuckle sandwich.
All the squad has dropped for good.
Bloody oath. I leveled up. Better grab me an upgrade. 10 seconds and the ring's close.
I'm kill leader. They'll be coming for me. Reloading.
Bogey in my crosshairs.
Cluster out. Listen up, fellas. The ring's moving and we're on the wrong side. Reducing me shields.
Charge my shield.
Taking fire.
조심하자. One squad nearby.
Healing. Give me a sec.
Prepare yourself. We have an enemy. I got one over there.
Charging on my shield. Incoming care package. Pro tip. Don't try intercepting something at Mach 1.
Where is he? Where is he?
I'm back. Logged off my drone.
Enemy here. Hold on to your asses.
Give me a second.
Cluster out. Cinnamon knuckle sandwich.
Behind me, behind me, behind me. Get cover, bro.
Champ's dead. Heavy is the head that wears the bullet.
One squad nearby.
On you, mate.
조심하자. One squad nearby. 잘 보고 다녀. There are 2 squads near us. Eyes open. They won't slip by us there.
Let's check that quadrant.
Backing out of my drone. I'm good to go.
Oi, got a weapon supply bin here. Oi, extra supplies here.
Let's leave a little bird dropping.
Signaling my drone back.
G'day, mate.
There are 2 squads somewhere nearby.
Barrel stabilizer here. Level 3.
Let's go there. 조심하자. Backing out of my drone. I'm good to go. I see one of them. Be prepared.
Extended heavy mag here. Level 3.
There are 2 squads near us.
Frag soaring.
I got one over there. Making them wiggle.
Right here, got one. Grenade out.
It's weak. One shot. Next one right here. Behind you. Oh, damn.
Man, you even die slow. Hurry up. I have stuff to do. Only 45 here.
You're better off dead, but I could use the cover.
Hostile right here. Let's go here.
Definitely was playing in the party. Look for more players again. One in play. Look for more players today. I'm reaching.
Round 2. Beginning ring countdown.
Where are you?
Change my mind and I get no 6 points. I change my mind and I get no 6 points. Batty boy cap up. And me run this.
Entropy is the natural order of the universe. I simply catalyze the process.
Off the grid is the only secure way to go. It doesn't matter who I am, only what I can do.
Introducing your champion.
Like cattle being herded into the slaughterhouse.
I'm the jump master. Stay close. How about here? I'll try and keep us under the radar. They found a new kill leader. The first has fallen.
Round 1. Beginning ring countdown.
Next ring is distant.
That ring's here. We regroup in here.
The ring retracts in 1 minute.
Ring fast.
There's a new kill leader. 조심해.
Rings around the corner. 10 left.
Observing this area, I believe others have been here.
Hostile close. I'm spotted. Taking fire. Frog out. Frog out. Just giving my shield. Broke their shield now. Reload. Listen up. I'm getting shot at. Enemy
Just back, bro. Just back.
reload.
Help John if you need.
One spot in the area.
Attention. Delivery care package.
Those care packages likely shoot the Delta in our hybrid.
Reload. Enemy. I'm spotted. Taking fire. Very good. We finish off the whole squad.
Octane, run, bro.
Phoenix kit. Just giving my shields a recharge.
No squads around us. I'm back. Logged off my drone.
Here's your birthday present.
Let's move here.
Locate the next ring. Inspect your map.
Reached another lever. An upgrade awaits.
Just a scrape. 1 sec.
I got an Evo harvester here. I'm recalling my drone. Upgraded. 좋아.
Bank tribute won't save you. Breathe it in.
I think someone's in here.
My vision is clear.
Hostile spotted.
좋아. There are no squads near us. Making them retreat. 좋아. There are no squads near us.
Round 2. Beginning ring countdown.
I'm recalling my drone. Somewhere nearby.
Trap is set. Data soon to follow.
40.
The trap is set. Data soon to follow.
Backing out of my drone. I'm good to go. Someone destroyed my drone. Enemy spotted over there.
Trap set. And waiting. Only 30 seconds. Beware. My ultimate is ready.
I'm down. Enemy over there. Enemy agent right here.
Trap set. Getting shot at. 10 seconds left.
I didn't say I mended broken hearts. I said I ended them.
I'm watching. I'm always watching.
Argentina go to the 2024 Copa America as defending champions and favorites.
¡Seremos campeones, señoras, señores! ¡No!
This is your champion.
Many are tipping them to reach the final and win the title again.
I love you guys. I love you.
Do you think they can do it? Tell us in the comments. But that's not really what we're here to talk about. Today, we want to talk about the 11 that won the Copa America last time out and get to know them a little better. This is one thing you didn't know about each of Argentina's 2021 Copa America winning 11. As always, we start with the goalie, Emiliano Martinez.
Straight up!
Move there, team.
It's a smashing hit. She's got rid of Ari.
Have you ever wondered why he goes by the nickname Dibu? It's short for dibujo, an animated character in a popular Argentinian telenovela back then. It was former Argentina keeper Miguel Angel Santoro that gave him the nickname. At right back was Gonzalo Montiel.
Head that way, fellas.
In 2023, it was reported that he was charged with sexual abuse, alleged to have occurred at his birthday party in January 2019, while he was still playing for River Plate in Argentina. The alleged victim said that she was raped by 3 men, one of whom was Montiel that night. But the Argentine defender denied being involved. He went on to explain that he had driven his friend home around 6 in the morning, only coming back to find the alleged victim screaming and crying and telling the player that it was all his fault for failing to look after her. The case is still in court, so we'll only have to wait to see how it develops. Let's now move to centre-back and look at Christian Romero. Did you know that he is the subject of a fraud case? He moved to Juventus in 2019 but never played a match for the Italian club before moving to Genoa on loan and then permanently to Atalanta. Well, that move drew the attention of the Italian authorities, who believe there may have been some foul play involved. The belief is that Juventus may have falsified the valuations of different transfers between 2019 and 2021 to comply with FFP requirements, and Romero's transfer might have been one of those. To be fair, the whole thing actually does look really fishy. Juventus signed him from Genoa in 2019 and immediately loaned him back to Genoa. They loaned him to Atalanta the following year, and in 2021, Atalanta signed him permanently, but immediately loaned him out to Spurs, who in turn then signed him permanently in 2022. Sounds a bit dodgy, doesn't it? Anyway, on to Nicolas Otamendi. Before he became a professional footballer, Otamendi was a boxer. And well, looking at how tough he is on the field, that's not too difficult to believe, is it? Completing the defense that day was Marcos Acuna. In 2018, the left-back was one of the victims of an attack on Sporting CP's training ground by about 50 club supporters. He and a couple of his teammates and coaches were left injured. Let's now move into the midfield, where we have Rodrigo de Paul. Did you know that he could have played for Italy?
Yeah, they dropped the care package.
Yes, the midfielder also has Italian citizenship, as his mum is of Italian descent, but he chose Argentina and has gone on to win everything with them. He even beat Italy in the Finalissima to win the UEFA CONMEBOL Cup of Champions in 2022. Another interesting fact about De Paul is that he received secret payments from the Argentinian government to follow Lionel Messi everywhere and make sure he's always protected and safe. Nah, only joking. The man doesn't need any form of payment to be Messi's bodyguard. Now to Leandro Paredes. The former PSG man is of Paraguayan descent, and he even speaks fluent Paraguayan Guarani. He also was born into a football family, as his cousin Franco Paredes plays professional football. Completing that midfield that day was Giovanni Lo Celso, who also completes a midfield of dual nationality. He too is part Italian, and he has a brother, Francesco Lo Celso, who also plays professional football. Now into the attack. Of course, there was Angel Di Maria.
Win big with your share of over $60 billion in cash and prizes with Floor Yarden Road. Just pay your bill on time and in full, and you could be one of 250 winners of up to $300,000 each. Win big with Floor Yarden Road.
The scorer of the winning goal in the final against Brazil. He too is of Italian descent, and his nickname is Fideo, which is Spanish for noodle. As you can probably tell, he was given that nickname because of how slim he is. But here's a more interesting story about the winger. Some years back, he was found out to have been using an offshore company of his named Sunpex to exploit his image rights, starting from a few months before he moved to Real Madrid in 2010. This came to light after a document named Pandora Papers got leaked to the press some years ago. Some other footballing personalities who were implicated in the document were Pep Guardiola and Carlo Ancelotti. In the simplest of terms, these guys had these secret offshore accounts which they used to try and avoid paying a lot of money in taxes in Europe. Di Maria's offshore company was based in Panama. Back to the team, who also had Lautaro Martinez.
What do you say we move here?
Now, his father was a footballer, but do you know what's interesting? He said he was close to becoming a basketball player instead, but obviously he ended up choosing football. Well, Lautaro, you're only 5'9", but we don't really know how basketball would have worked out for you. Anyway, what is clear is that the Inter-captain has a deep love for basketball, and he even said that he'd rather watch a basketball game than a football match. Interesting. Now, of course, we save the best till last. Lionel Messi. He is one of the most famous footballers in history, so it's hard to tell you something you already didn't know about him, but we'll try. Did you know that in 2016, Messi and his dad were found guilty of tax fraud?
Mana na bago pa? Oo.
Enemy right here. Oi, enemy here.
It's just the two of us now.
Grab down squad is better.
The next ring is far. Keep an eye on the clock.
Feeling up. Thought about every day.
Down. I need to get back in. There's a new kill leader. 조심해. Enemy, got one right here. Right here, got one. One of them's right here.
Run, bro, run, bro, run. It's 3 of them, bro, right here.
Guilty of tax fraud. For that, they were slapped with huge fines and suspended prison sentences. The ghost has to show up in court to be sentenced by a judge. Can you imagine that? Also, did you know that Messi has finished second at the Puskás Award on 3 different occasions but has never won it? His Champions League goal against Arsenal finished second to Neymar in 2011. His goal in the Copa del Rey final against Atletico finished second in 2015. And his La Liga goal against Real Betis finished second in 2019. Should Messi have won the Puskás at least once in his career? What do you think? Anyway, as we always do, we're giving you a bonus. This time, it's coach Lionel Scaloni. Did you know that he became coach of Argentina by mistake? He was Sampaoli's assistant at Sevilla. When the former Chile manager was hired as Argentina coach, Scaloni moved with him. But following Argentina's horrible outing at the 2018 World Cup, Sampaoli was sacked, and Scaloni and Aymar were asked to be caretaker managers while they looked for a permanent boss. Then, suddenly, Argentina made the decision to hire Scaloni permanently, and that shocked everyone. Fans, the media, and even Diego Maradona criticized the decision. Some even said it was an offense against the national team to hire such an inexperienced coach. But, well, look at them now. Scaloni has gone on to bring Argentina much success, winning the Copa America, Finalissima, and the World Cup. One more thing. Scaloni was run over in Spain in 2019 while he was cycling, but thankfully he survived without much complication.
Who's ready to catch some cool? Click here to make your very own monster unadapted monster.
Transfers might seem pretty straightforward, but there's usually a lot of drama surrounding them, and this drama has sometimes led to some serious feuds between football clubs. If you think we're exaggerating, make sure to watch this video till the end. These are 9 transfers that caused beef between 2 clubs. Let's start with Ousmane Dembele's move to PSG. Many will say that it was the Neymar transfer that started the beef between Barca and PSG, and while that might be true, it was certainly Dembele's move that solidified that beef. You see, after Neymar's move, Barcelona fans still cheered PSG on occasionally, especially after Messi moved there, but the moment Dembele made the move, all Barca fans started to wish the worst for the French club. Barcelona had spent a truckload of money on Dembele, who just never clicked for years. Then, when it looked like Xavi was finally getting the best out of him, PSG came in and swooped for him. Since then, Barcelona fans have thoroughly hated PSG, and the French club have made sure to return the favour. That beef was very evident when they met in the quarter-final of the Champions League. They both gave the other a very hostile welcome when they came a-visiting. But if you think this is crazy, wait till you hear about the transfers which led to court cases. But for now, let's look at the Philippe Coutinho transfer. After Neymar left Barcelona, the club saw Coutinho as the perfect replacement, so they went out for him with everything they had. Liverpool informed them that the Brazilian was not for sale at any price, but Barcelona insisted. In August 2017, they sent a £72 million bid, and when Liverpool refused to sell, the players then took matters into his own hands and submitted a transfer request. Liverpool still refused to let him go, but Barcelona still wouldn't stop, sending in 2 extra bids.
Window.
The saga continued into the next
window. Get up there, I'll beat you.
Nike advertised Coutinho in a Barcelona shirt while he was still a Liverpool player, and that really angered the Liverpool hierarchy. After that, Coutinho didn't minute more for Liverpool and was sold in January. Because of that, Liverpool put a clause in Coutinho's deal stating that if Barcelona wanted to buy any other player from Liverpool over the next 3 years, the Spanish giants would pay an extra £89 million on top of whatever they deemed was a fair valuation for the player. They did that just to stop Barcelona from stealing their best players. Coutinho's tale reminded us of another really funny transfer saga involving a Liverpool player. We'll tell you that one later, but for now, let's look at Liverpool doing the exact same thing they were mad at Barcelona for. In 2017, Liverpool spotted a centre-back they really wanted, and they were ready to do whatever it took to get him. His name, Virgil van Dijk. At the time, Virgil van Dijk was a Southampton player, but Liverpool kept stalking the defender so much that Southampton called them out and the Reds were forced to apologise publicly. In that apology, they said they were no longer interested in the player, but of course, that turned out to be a lie. They continued their pursuit of Van Dijk, which caused the Dutchman to hand in a request and release a statement. Liverpool's relentless pursuit even caused Southampton to drop Van Dijk in the final few weeks at the club. The Saints were not pleased at all. Let's now look at the latest big transfer, which has led to a huge beef between the two clubs. Kylian Mbappe's move to Real Madrid has caused some kind of rift between Madrid and PSG, but this didn't just start now. The French club blocked the winger from moving to Spain a couple of years ago, and that really angered Real Madrid. Now Madrid have finally gotten their man for free, and PSG are not pleased about that at all. Obviously, they're more mad at Mbappe, which is why reports say that the club will not be paying the player a backlog of wages and bonuses they owe him, which amount up to about 80 million euros. But losing their best player to Real Madrid and getting nothing out of the deal has surely done nothing but make the relationship between the two clubs even worse. Now we move to one of the most infamous transfers in football history, Luis Figo to Real Madrid. Of course, this was not what started the beef between Madrid and Barcelona, but this definitely made things worse. Figo was Barcelona's superstar, leader and best player. Then, boom, Real Madrid come from nowhere to snatch him from their grasp. But the transfer wasn't so straightforward. It was actually very political. Florentino Perez promised to bring Figo in if he won the election to become Real Madrid president. Figo's agent, who thought there was no way Perez would win the election, signed the deal, and when Perez won, Figo had to move. Following that transfer, the beef between Barcelona and Madrid became 10 times more heated. Each time Figo went to the Camp Nou as a Madrid player, it was hell. The noise was insane and all sorts of things were thrown onto the pitch, including the head of a pig, which caused the game to be suspended for about 20 minutes. El Clasico is a fierce rivalry already, but Figo's transfer from Barcelona to Real Madrid made it fiercer than we've ever seen in the 21st century. And this transfer has a lot in common with Roberto Baggio moving from Fiorentina to Juventus in 1990. Again, Fiorentina and Juventus were already deathly rivals before this transfer, but it made everything a whole lot worse. The transfer alone was responsible for riots on the streets of Florence, which left about 50 people injured. It was so bad that Baggio had to come out and speak, saying that he was forced to accept the move. And Baggio maintained his loyalty to Fiorentina, infamously refusing to take a penalty against them in the Juve versus Fiorentina fixture. Of course, that didn't go down too.
Maika Miller was 30 years old when she died on the 27th of April, 2024. She had been married to John Paul Miller, a pastor at Solid Rock Church in South Carolina, for 7 years. When the pastor's wife was found dead from a single gunshot to the head, all signs pointed towards a conclusion that no one wanted to accept. As the secrets of the past and marriage came to light, a growing chorus of family members, friends, neighbors, online commentators, and the broader media joined in speculation. They believed only one explanation made sense, that Maika Miller had not chosen her own fate. She had been murdered. Hi there, I'm Kevin, and welcome to Just Thought Lounge. Today's case has us unraveling a intricate web of allegations, emotional, mental, and spiritual abuse, murder, affairs, corruption in the church, and failures of law enforcement.
Everything's gonna be great.
It is a heartbreaking case that has captured the attention of many. The investigation is now officially closed. A conclusion has been reached, and the evidence released to the public. However, speculation continues. Let's take a look.
Looky here, I've mastered the jump.
John Paul, or J.P. Miller, and his future wife Maika met when she was 14 years old. Her family had just started attending worship services at Solid Rock Church in Myrtle Beach. J.P. was a youth pastor at the time, growing to a more significant role at Solid Rock over the following years. When Maika was 18 years old, John Paul initiated her wedding to his good friend, a man named Jeremy Days. Both Maika and Jeremy were involved in the church, ran a sports ministry, and she worked on the media team, in addition to other responsibilities. secretary and babysitter for his growing family. In 2015, JP's wife Allison discovered her husband and their babysitter in a compromising session. Shortly after, JP and Micah's affair became public knowledge. In 2016, both marriages ended in divorce. Jeremy and Allison each eventually left the Solid Rock Church, where only 1 year later, JP and Micah were married. At the age of 23, Micah became the stepmother to 44-year-old John Paul's 5 children, 4 from his first marriage with Allison, and the eldest from a previous relationship. Micah also took on a crucial role in the church as the pastor's wife. She was a worship leader, did graphic design, and oversaw the women's and youth ministries. Micah was also passionate about overseas missions, including her trips to Kenya, where the church was funding religious and educational initiatives. Micah loved to sing. She often led the congregation in song.
Give me life, take me for what I am. It's all that you change, all my colors for you.
On the 27th of April, 2024, 55-year-old Johnny Jacobs went fishing in the Lumber River in North Carolina. He had been in the state park for several hours when he heard a woman's cries from down the river. From his position along the tall, dense tree line, he could not see the woman who was crying.
Put in there with my little baby. And maybe 5 minutes after getting into the slough, I heard a cry. A faint cry. I heard it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And the cry was stopped.
A few minutes passed with only the sound of the river, the birds, and the light breeze, before the distinct and unmistakable bang of a gunshot rang out.
I said, oh my God, don't tell me. Don't tell me, because the crying had stopped. I said, don't tell me something's happening. Don't tell me something. I was getting ready to get out of there. I now got 3 people came into the lake on a boat, and I frankly asked them, I said, did y'all hear that gunshot? They said yes.
Johnny made his way towards the direction that he had heard the gunfire. On the bank of the river, he discovered a backpack. The bag was a pair of glasses and a cell phone.
License, her bank card. She had her keys in the bag. She had a little small Bible, all the credit cards, the bank cards, a few receipts as well.
Within minutes, emergency responders arrived at the Lumber River State Park, called out by a 911 call. They immediately began a search on foot and in the air. Just before 4:30 p.m., roughly an hour and a half after Johnny had heard the shot, a kayaker reported a woman's body in the water. It was 30-year-old Micah Miller. She had died of a single gunshot wound to the head. The black bottle Accord that Micah had driven to North Carolina from her home in Myrtle Beach was found in the parking lot. Robinson County detectives looked inside the car and observed a black Sig Sauer gun case in the passenger seat and a box of ammunition in the center console of the vehicle. Later that evening, they recovered a Sig Sauer 9mm firearm from the water. The serial number matched the case. A receipt for the purchase of the weapon was also in the vehicle. It showed that the gun had been acquired only hours earlier from Vince Pawn Shop in Myrtle Beach. Micah Miller was listed as the buyer. The medical examiner was called out to view the scene where the incident occurred, and CSI teams worked the area, gathering any potential evidence. When the coroner's report was released, it concluded that Micah had died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. It was a conclusion that friends and family members could not accept. It just didn't make sense to them.
I heard from him this week. He plans to attend church with them on Sunday. So the news, when I heard it, I thought it was just some kind of terrible misunderstanding. she was headed in a positive direction, and she was making plans and had a new purpose that she was pursuing. She was loving her job, everything.
Additionally, those close to Micah believed that there were far too many reasons to suspect foul play. Their prime suspect, Micah's husband, John Paul Miller. In a signed affidavit, Micah's sister Sierra quoted her sister only weeks before her death as stating, "If I end up with a bullet in my head, it was not by me, it was JP." Their marriage had been tumultuous. Micah had tried to leave him on multiple occasions, but had been somehow repeatedly pulled back in. That is, until just days before she was found in the river. She had grown resolute in her decision to leave him.
I know she'd been struggling. She's gotten 3 different numbers, or she's had 3 different numbers in the last 3 months, trying to make sure that he did not get her phone number and could not get in contact with her. She messaged me saying, thank you for your gentle warnings over the years about JP, or my relationship with JP. I know that you knew I wasn't ready to get out yet. I've replayed our combos over and over in her head throughout the years, and wish there was a way I could get out, and now I have.
Only 2 days before Micah's death, JP had been served with divorce papers. She had sought to leave JP the year before, in January 2023, moving to Kansas to be with family members there and to start a new life. In Kansas, she joined a new church and built new friendships. But after only a few months, Micah abruptly left the state, leaving behind a brief and uncharacteristic note, stating that she was heading back to South Carolina to be with her husband.
We got all the text messages when she was leaving. That didn't make any sense. When she was planning on staying in Kansas, and she was planning on thriving, she was planning on making trips, healing, and all of a sudden we heard nothing. It was a good news. I've been reconciled. My husband's allowing me to come back home. Praise God.
Back in Myrtle Beach, the marriage continued to deteriorate. In a pattern seen all too often, JP went back to the same behaviors, and Micah found herself quickly back to where she started, looking for a way out. In cryptic social media posts, Micah spoke out against domestic abuse of all kinds. In what has been interpreted as statements about her own experience, the pastor's wife discussed reconciling religious beliefs with a desire to leave an unhealthy marriage.
I just want to tell you what a lot of people have told me lately, and reminded me, because I think I forgot. I knew, but I pushed it in the back of my head, just because of my situation. But you are the bride of Christ before anybody else's bride. God hates divorce, but why? According to everybody I've asked and the scriptures that I've found, it's because it hurts people. But does abuse hurt people? How do you think God feels about that? And I'm God's bride first. And even an earthly spouse, who's a good spouse, when they know that their bride is being hurt, just imagine what an earthly spouse does. What do you think your heavenly spouse does when you're the bride of Christ and he sees his bride going through abuse and hurt? What do you think he thinks about that?
Micah filed for divorce later that year in October 2023, but in February of the next year, she withdrew the papers. That month, Micah was admitted to hospital for mental health treatment against her will. She claimed that her husband had committed her. He had also taken her wallet, her keys, and her car. So when she was released, Micah reported her vehicle stolen to police. The report states that John Paul told police that his wife had mental health issues. He said that she had episodes annually around the holidays, during which time she would recklessly spend large sums of money. He justified taking her car by explaining that he was preventing her from selling it, and he refused to give it back for several weeks. There was little that Myrtle Beach police could do with this information. The couple were still married, which meant that Micah's vehicle was marital property. Legally, her husband could not have stolen it.
for your prayers and support. Know that I have to keep my circle really, really small right now. I'm used to having a really big circle, so it's hard because I want to reach out to everybody and tell you how much I love you and I miss you. But it's the best way that I know how. So I love you all. I miss you.
After filing for divorce in the autumn, Micah grew concerned that she was being stalked by her estranged husband. Twice she found a sharp metal object and had slashed the tires to her vehicle.
Get out of there, bro. Get out of there.
From the Honda dealership,
damn, bro.
fixing the vehicle, found a GPS tracking device attached to the car. As if to confirm what Micah had already intuitively known, that John Paul was tracking her movements, he turned up at the dealership to confront her.
Hey, pictures. Do you want to go to jail?
I'll be on Facebook.
Alright, you'll be in jail in a few hours. Walk away.
Another complaint to police about the GPS tracker led to the same result. JP made claims that his wife was mentally unstable. He claimed that shortly after their wedding in 2017, she was diagnosed bipolar 2, schizophrenic, and dependent personality disorder. He then claimed the GPS tracker was on the car for her own safety. As long as she took her medication, the pastor said, his wife would be fine. But that Micah had a roller coaster relationship with her meds. Earlier in the year, the wife of a well-meaning pastor friend offered to pray for her and believed that her mental illness would go away. According to JP, this led Micah to believe that she no longer needed the medication. With the limited information available at that time, the responding officer took no action. The vehicle remained marital property. By extension, the GPS tracker on the car was as well. In an email sent to Micah, John Paul apologized to her for the use of the trackers, but as Micah moved forward with the divorce, the pastor continued to lash out. On April 8th, Micah spoke to police yet again. This time, she told them that her husband had posted an indecent photograph of her on Facebook. Micah told police she had sent her husband a photograph about 6 months before. Before being posted, parts of the photo had been blurred, so it did not conduce of Carolina's code of law for nudity. Officers told Micah that as the photo had been posted online anonymously, there was no way to prove her husband was behind each publication. Though once it had been sent to him, it would have been legally his. Yet again, there were no actions taken against the pastor. Though Micah told police that she feared for her safety, explaining that she had come to understand that her husband had groomed her since 2010, when she first met him as her youth pastor at the age of about 14. John Paul was 14 years older. At that time, he was already married and the father of a few children. JP adamantly denies this depiction of their relationship. Micah's last Facebook post was from April 9th, when she wrote, "When terrible, terrible, terrible things happen to you, y'all know what I'm talking about. RPF, rest in peace, face."
To stay in a abusive relationship, whether that's sexual, whether that's somebody forcing you to take illegal drugs, or alcohol abuse, or physical abuse, psychological abuse, making you think that this is all your fault, or you're a bad mom, or you're a bad wife, or you're a bad husband, or you're not giving it your all when you know you are.
Less than a week after the last police report, Micah found a GPS tracker on her vehicle for a second time. She filed for divorce the next day. It would take about a week before those papers were filled.
Jameer,
Extended light mag here. Level 3.
what am I?
He personally called me and said, "Hey, Michael Malajan."
One of that, one of one nation.
I don't live in the city. I don't know that was she bothered this shit. Why would that be a question to the street?
As to the turbulent nature of his marriage. In the poem which Mary described one like his lives as a narcissist's ramblings, he wrote of Micah. She and JP have been friends since 2009, married in 2017, and spent almost every single day and night together. Micah made the greatest of efforts to always be the best wife she could be. She would praise her husband after every church service, telling him he was the best preacher in the world. She also told him he was the funniest preacher in the world, even though that wasn't true either. The day following the death, the pastor decided to break the news to the church congregation in a casual and unsettling announcement that followed his sermon.
Altar call today. Instead, I'm going to have you stand up and I'm going to make an announcement. And after the announcement, I'm going to ask that you leave church quietly and don't talk about the announcement here in the building, please, if you can, so y'all can stand to your feet. Before I make the announcement, I also want to say that my request to you is that you will continue to come to church and serve and give for the next, little bit, because I'm taking a little bit of a break, and I don't want to have to worry about the church. My break may be a few days, a few weeks, I don't know. I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away. Yeah, it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina. And we're going to have a funeral for her next Sunday here at 3 p.m. And so it's all I can be at. I'm just kind of going on adrenaline right now. So y'all pray for me and my kids and everybody. And she wasn't, y'all knew that she wasn't well mentally, and that she needed medicine that was hard to get to her. And so I'm sure there'll be more details to come. But just keep our family in your prayers. And I'm going to let Pastor Randall, my bishop, he can pray. I can pray out. If you have anything you want to share as well, I would appreciate it.
Micah Miller had been found in the water less than 24 hours earlier. The coroner had not made a determination as to the nature or cause of her death when JP made this announcement. And Raleigh County police were still treating the incident as a suspicious death. Nonetheless, the pastor pointed immediately to his wife's alleged mental state, declaring that her death was self-induced. The pastor appears to have been far more vocal regarding his wife's alleged mental illness than his own. Indeed, many of the details of John Paul's personal life before his marriage to Micah stayed hidden for years. That changed when he came under scrutiny in the wake of his wife's death. A video posted on Facebook by one of JP's neighbors, dated in 2015, shows John Paul experiencing what some are calling a drug-induced psychosis. In the video, he explained to an unidentified person that his medication had been changed. He felt ants crawling all over him, but in the video, there are no ants.
I think Mark is coming. I had him try to get in touch with him again to make sure. Okay. Okay, that's fine. She was letting her ants, doesn't he? There's no ants on you, though. It's just, maybe that's how you feel, but there's none on you. There's none on the grass. What kind of medicine do they have you on?
Optics here.
Let me know what you're doing. Okay, I think it's. Here's some water, JP. Want some water? Yeah.
Recharging shields.
You want to try to sit up? You want to try to sit up, or you want to put it to your mouth, or what?
I'll be out.
Okay.
The poster of the video, a man named Ty, wrote alongside his host, I believe the saying goes, getting a taste of your own medicine. Being used and abused for way too long, only to get up on that pulpit and consistently discredit your victims by airing out intentionally degrading, inappropriate personal information. Doing that allows you to control the narrative. Now we have the death of your wife that you claim only took her life because of mental illness. Fact is, nobody was ever mental until they met you. In the lengthy post, Ty provides possible explanations for how the pastor could have gotten away with such atrocious behavior for so long. He writes, "The reason why most people didn't speak up is because they know your reaction is ruthless. You have a little bit of local power with enough financial resources to hurt people legally, and they fear putting their family at risk. And the few others that don't speak up believe it's not the Christian thing to do. Well, neither is doing nothing." John Paul's troubles began at an early age. As a teenager, he earned a criminal record for incidents of delinquency, driving under the influence, and assault. The most concerning incident occurred when he was 19 years old. It was February 1998. Families in the Bryant Creek subdivision of Myrtle Beach were sandbagging homes in response to excessive flooding. Defying the road closed sign, JP entered the neighborhood in a silver S10 truck with black tape covering the license plate. According to
He's running.
His truck to the entry woman who had asked him to slow his vehicle. Then, he continued
just back, bro, just back.
100 yards.
Heal up, bro, heal up.
Slow, and she was able to safely roll off. The court ordered him to receive a suspended sentence of 4 years, 3 years of probation, 500 hours of community service, and an order to pay
Bananas at the bed, you know.
on May
We're gonna put a biscuit them on the bed, you know, brother.
John Paul applied and received a pardon for this conviction. Social media and some news outlets have become rampant with suspicions and accusations leveled at the pastor, related not only to his wife's death, but of other alleged nefarious behavior. It emerged that the pastor was coming with a woman in the Solid Rock congregation named Susie Skinner. Susie, seen out for margaritas and shots with JP 4 days after Micah's death, has formally denied that she is dating the pastor. Former church members and friends of JP and Micah said that the relationship was public and had been going on for some time. What was not openly discussed was the suspicious death of Susie's husband, Christopher. Christopher had been wheelchair-bound following a drunk driving accident in 2000. He met Susie through his rehabilitation and later became an inspirational speaker and author. On September 6, 2021, Christopher drowned at a community pool in Myrtle Beach when his wheelchair tipped into the pool and he became trapped underneath it. He was 41 years old.
Then allegedly begins another affair with a church member who has a husband who uses a wheelchair who mysteriously ended up dead and drowned in a pool. Is that accurate? Yes.
That's what we've been told by people who have reached out. We've spoken to former church members. We've spoken to current church members.
An investigation into Christopher's death found no signs of foul play. Security camera footage of the community center showed that he had been there alone. Though this did not explain why his chair abruptly accelerated forward into the pool. His death has been ruled an accident. JP's ex-wife Allison has accused her ex-husband of having a sexual addiction and behaving inappropriately with the teenagers at his church. One of his teens, now a grown woman, took to Facebook to tell her story, alleging that John Paul once forced himself on her. John Paul Miller has been removed from his position as pastor at the Solid Rock Church, though he is still technically employed there. None of the pastor's history makes him guilty of his wife's murder. He may very well be guilty of other crimes that are now emerging, but it is too early to tell. What we do know is that Micah had been keeping track of her husband's transgressions. She kept detailed diaries that likely recorded contemporaneous reflections of the abuse that she allegedly suffered at his hands. She knew about the other women. There were allegedly quite a few. There is also reason to believe that he was stealing donations intended for the church and its charitable activities. In mid-March, John Paul was reported to police by another church member for transferring almost $2,000 from the Dare to Care mission in Kenya to his own personal account. Although her name does not appear in the police report, Micah is thought to have also been implicated in this donation scheme alongside JP, as the anonymously named involved other on the report. Her family believes that making her complicit in JP's schemes was another way that he sought to control her. Yet another police report was filed after Micah's death, when John Paul arrived at the apartment building where Micah had been living to collect her belongings. Her family believes that his intentions that day were to collect the diaries and other documents that could incriminate him. On that occasion, it was the pastor himself who phoned law enforcement. According to the report, the leasing agent would not let him into the home to take his wife's things because they didn't like him very much. It was Micah's sister, Sierra, who came into possession of her documents. They are now being sorted by her lawyer.
Mounds of paperwork that I have is incredible. She collected a lot of things. She kept a notebook, boxes of journals, which, by the way, he's made 100 phone calls looking for, as I understand. And he is constantly trying to stay in front of this, spin some story.
Fantastic.
The investigation into Micah's death continued after the coroner offered their conclusion. The Robeson County Police released a report, timeline, video surveillance, and other evidence filed in the course of their investigation. Their conclusions were not well received. The Ring camera outside of the apartment where Micah was living captured her leaving the home at 10:13 a.m. on Saturday, April 27th, the day she died. She returned at 11 a.m. Micah was alone. She left again a few minutes later and drove to Dick's Pawn Shop in Myrtle Beach, where a camera caught her exiting her car and entering the superstore. In the store at just past noon, Micah is shown independently purchasing the Sig Sauer handgun. She passed a criminal background check and was able to leave the store with the gun immediately. Her phone search history showed that she searched for a national park, returning the directions for Lumber River State Park. On the way to the park, she stopped off at a gas station where she purchased a drink. The receipt was found in her car, and security camera footage in the store showed her once again shopping alone. Micah carried on to the state park. Once there, Micah placed a call to 911.
Robeson County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
Hi, are you able to trace the location of my phone?
Let me see. You don't know where you're at?
At National Park. I have my location on, I think, on my phone. Find my phone is on.
I don't think you are in Robeson County. At the Lumber River State Park?
Yeah, that's where I am.
Tell me what happened.
I just want my family to know where to find me.
The final statement that Micah made to the operator was to state her intentions. One, she said she only wanted her family to be able to locate her. Despite this, there are those online who have claimed to hear a man's voice in the background, perhaps convincing her to lie on the phone call. Still, others have suggested that the voice on the call is not Micah at all, but produced by AI as a part of John Paul Miller's plan to get away with murder. Conspiracy theories that have picked up steam include accusing Johnny, the fisherman, of being the gunman. Others say that JP had another accomplice with whom he switched cell phones to throw off any location data. These theories all aim to point the finger at JP as the killer, even though he seems to have a rock-solid alibi. The night before Micah was shot, JP drove to a sporting event in Charleston, a roughly 3-hour drive south of Lumber River Park in North Carolina. The investigation located multiple eyewitnesses who confirmed that the pastor was at this event all weekend. Licensed investigators tracked his truck en route to and from Charleston, and further corroborated witnesses. Despite this information being released to the contrary, the investigative report clearly states that there were multiple passengers traveling together. His new girlfriend, his alibi is not dependent upon her word alone. He simply could not have been with Micah when she died, or been the person who pulled the trigger. Though whether he still bears responsibility for her death in other ways is a separate question. On Sunday, May 12, 2024, John Paul held a funeral for Micah at the Solid Rock Church. Her family did not attend.
Even if I had 10 hours a day, that would be enough time to tell you all the great things about her, what it was like to be in an intimate relationship with her. I still hear her voice. I can still picture her walking in the front door. She was a great stepmom. She did so much work with the kids all the time. She was the one that would always help pick them up from school and get their food. And she'd take Sailor, my daughter, all the time to get their nails done or to go to Lululemon or all these special girly things, And I appreciated that from the very beginning. Not once did she ever complain about having 5 kids. This was my favorite period. She did.
Give me, take me for what I
better get an upgrade. In with the new and out with the Okay, next ring's not close and I don't have backup. I better move. Check out that replicator coming in.
Imagine being married to that. It was like that in our house all the time. Y'all stay on your feet and Pastor Randall's going to close in prayer.
The report released by Robeson County Sheriff Ernest Wilkins concluded that, unfortunately, rumors and conspiracy theories were spreading quickly, and assumptions were being made. However, in the end, we must make decisions based on the facts and evidence that has been gathered. While I know it's not what many people wanted to hear, the evidence is quite clear and compelling, and we are as saddened as anyone that this occurred. The report did not end with speculation. Indeed, the evidence released has now been scrutinized in an effort to discredit its conclusions.
Whoa. That truck is tinted black. How do I know who's in it? And also, how do I know he was at an athletic event? And was he there the whole time? And how far away is that event from where Michael was killed?
Independent media is questioning why a small cross tattoo on Micah's hand is not visible from the camera angle at the pawn shop while she purchased the gun. Videos have been published questioning the timestamps of security footage from the parking lot, perhaps suggesting that the footage has been altered. Many do not wish to accept the 911 call happened at all.
10 seconds till ring closes.
That once this 911 call is released, somebody can dissect it and look at it, a professional that can say, okay, yeah, this is AI generated. Because there are ways to do that. Because I'm not buying this for a second.
I'm in the ring.
Solid Rock church leaders have reported receiving harassing phone calls and messages. The coroner who performed the medical exam has received threats. So has Johnny Jacobs, the fisherman on the Cedar Park. He has now appeared on multiple news outlets declaring his innocence. As these theories spread, so do the allegations and online abuse.
Just to stop as far as me, I don't need to make this all about me because I'm still thinking about Michael. I'm trying to respect her family
And I got total respect for them, and I'm so sorry for what they're going through. I never thought my day would turn out like this.
John Paul has hired me. Letters have been issued calling for an end to the accusations of murder and other abusive behavior directed at JP that is proliferating online.
Felt like I had come across the answer of maybe why she would have taken it this far, and that is he had her convinced that this was what she should do. In my opinion, I believe he had her convinced that it would be the only way that she could escape him to some degree. I believe that he used every tactic and tool that he could.
The pastor has denied ever hurting his wife in any way. Claims that he had groomed her since the age of 10 must be false, he says, because they did not meet until she was 14. The police report where this accusation made by Micah is recorded probably transcribed her statements inaccurately. Micah likely would have stated that the grooming began in 2010, not when she was 10 years old. Micah was cremated before a second independent autopsy could be performed. It seems that there are also gaps in the standard practices in North Carolina, that Micah's family rendered the autopsy incomplete. They did not perform a toxicology, for example. Adding more fuel to the fire, John Paul family reported that he refused access to view Micah until after they agreed to this. The family are not giving up.
I believe that it was all staged. I believe that the whole thing was premeditated. I believe that the narrative was established by Junior all the way through. Before there was even a release, like the day we were notified, he was already saying, she did it. Why would you do that if you don't have all these videos? Why would you not be briefing all of them and just, he has not shown any remorse, no grief. He shows nervousness, he shows guilt, he shows, that he's hiding something.
Everybody, I just wanted to share the chorus of a song that came to my head the other day. I was just kind of battling thoughts of just kind of like human thoughts, things that you want to do. And it's just a fleeting thought, and when this song came to my mind, Jesus says, bless those who curse you, pray for your enemies, things like that.
Revelations from John Paul Miller's past continue to accumulate, and the outcry for action to be taken is only growing.
I pray for your healing.
It has been reported that the FBI's assistance has been requested by law enforcement in North Carolina. But with the death investigation now declared closed, it is unclear what aspects of the case the FBI agents have been asked to look into.
I pray miracles over your life. In Jesus' name. In Jesus' name.
If you can't keep up, you're straight out of luck.
That was the tragic case of Micah Miller. Thank you so much for watching, and special thanks again to everyone in the Members Lounge. I'm Kevin, this is Just Not Lounge, and I'll see you in the next one.
Introducing your champion.
Test me. I encourage this.
Hold on tight. It's time to drop, shock, and rock.
Alright, supplies here. No need to thank me, but you should. There's a weapon supply bin here.
1 minute. Rings nearby.
Got our first worm food, compadres. "45 seconds. We could check out here." Gotta hop up here. Hammer point.
Ring is far. Apple 1.
I leveled up. Nice. And I got an upgrade. That's much nicer, or equally as better. Hey, a new upgrade. Spiffy. Is that, do people still say Spiffy?
Your ring close. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hitting the eject button.
Attention.
It's go time.
Kill leader.
New kill leader. Show off.
Attention. Group care package.
Care package touchdown.
Fool him.
Kill leader eliminated.
Phoenix Kid here.
Open supply bin over there.
Optics here. Close range.
Enemy spotted. Way out there, like little cucarachas.
Let's reposition here.
Check it out. Open supply bin here.